Grow organic, talk organic. I'm Jay Blaze, your host, and let's get organically blunt. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Organically Blunt. I am Jay Blaze, once again, your host, if you don't know who I am. And this evening, I have the pleasure and the opportunity to speak with Leah Groves Greens. Welcome to the show, Leah.
Hello. How are you?
I'm excellent. Hopefully, you're doing well. And I want to dive right into things here. And with that being said, a lot of people don't know what topicals are and what they can be used for. So that being said, can you kind of break that down for us a little bit?
So yeah, topicals can be very many things, and a lot of people might mostly know of salve, but there's so many other things with other benefits, and we can totally get into that throughout the podcast here. We try to. I'm a little nervous. It's my first podcast, so try not to talk too fast. I talk fast when I get nervous, so I'm gonna try to keep it. Boom. So, what was it that you said again?
Well, basically, we just wanted to know, like, what is considered a topical, basically. Let's just dive into that question as a generalized question here, because I don't even know what a topical is, what can it be used for, and how did you get into it? Just tell us your story.
So
We just want to hear about you.
Topicals essentially are like a combination of oils mixed together and applied on a localized area of the skin to give that part of the body relief in a short layman's terms. So that's why you'd have to keep applying it over, again, after like maybe an hour or so. You wouldn't necessarily feel the relief. Again, you'd have to apply it to maybe the same spot or so a couple times a day to continue the relief. But yeah, essentially it's just a localized pain relief that is temporary, and it's made usually from a plant base like lavender or rosemary, but we're talking about cannabis, and all my topicals have cannabis in them.
That is awesome. I've seen you at the events for the last couple months, maybe over a year now. I don't know how long it's been. I know I've been doing these events going on 3 years now, and we finally got a chance to connect and get you on the show here. And I like what you do because I'm going as organic and as holistic as possible on things starting in this year 2024. So basically, just this past week, I went fully gluten-free, sugar-free, wheat-free, soy-free, dairy-free. I've done it, and I've seen immaculate results in just a week. I mean, on a personal standpoint. And my next step is definitely being able to medicate and get away from, anything like Tylenol or anything like that you might use if you get a headache. Now, I dive into this, and I might dive all over the place here. So
all right, me too.
We know you have a great product that is a headache roller because you gave me one. And
that's actually the first topical I've ever had made. I love that thing.
Definitely. So what I want to know is, can you break that down for the audience, like what's in it and how it works a little bit? Just like, because, everybody gets a headache. So that's a product that almost anybody can benefit from. And it's a great idea. I mean, I'm not saying that you obviously came up with it, but you perfected your recipe. And don't give all your secrets away, but what are some of the ingredients in it? I mean, what makes it so that it relieves your headache? I mean, what do you got in it?
Peppermint oil is a very big play in the headache roller. Cannabis topicals help with inflammation. So THC is really great for pain. That's what most people know topicals are used for: pain, inflammation, like arthritis, joint pain, stuff like that. So the headache roller has the cannabis oil in it. So, okay, let's take it back a notch. I was at the mall, and inside Macy's, they have Origins, and they have a headache roller. So that's where I originally found this idea from. And I had used that and ran out. and was looking at the back ingredients, and like it was like tea tree oil and stuff like that, like things that would open up your sinuses. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is pretty easy. You're just in carrier oils with essential oils, so they're not super burning on your skin. It's like super harsh to have straight essential oil on your skin. So you combined it with a coconut oil, and I was like, oh, well, why don't I infuse the coconut oil and then add the essential oils in with that. And then just recently started adding in a magnesium oil, which helps with pain too. So the combination of the THC, the magnesium oil, and the peppermint oil just really helped eliminate that headache. So this is what it looked like, a little perfume roller. You'd roll it like around this area here, maybe like the back of the neck, like places where you would start feeling like that tension develop in your head for that headache starting to develop. I don't know about anybody else, but I get like this throbbing like vein, like literally like just like has its own heartbeat when I start like getting a migraine, and I'll just boom right on top of that vein that's popping and calm it right down. It's actually last year, I swear like every vendor had one of these things.
You know, I still got mine, and I'll be honest, I haven't broken it out because, well, I get what they call what do they call it? Sinus cluster headache syndrome. And like people get migraines, I get sinus headaches. My head will just plug up out of nowhere, and it's extreme pressure and pain, and I'm on Suboxone. But if I can cut that out and find something that works naturally,
so your sinuses are in here, and that is like that gets really swollen and stuff like that, right? So THC is great for inflammation. That peppermint oil helps open that up. So just recently, I discovered after myself having a sinus infection, I had so much pressure just going on in my cheeks. I rubbed it like right underneath my cheekbone, and within like 10 minutes, I was just like blowing out all that nasty shit and just
wow,
so much better. I also use it. I get I forget how to like pronounce the actual like term, but the abbreviation is TMJ. So essentially it's an inflammation in your jaw where the jaw like inflames inside the joint, and like you can like get your jaw to lock open and stuff like that. And it's really uncomfortable. Sometimes like it hurts to talk or open my mouth up too wide and stuff like that. So I'll actually roll that around right in here as well. And that helps out a lot too. So that thing, I want to call it like the magic stick, but I don't know if I would get like copyright infringement or something like that.
Right. I mean, that would be a tough one there, but that maybe if you spelt it a little bit unique and kind of design the logo a little bit to yourself, I think you could get away with it, but it would have to be spelled a little bit different.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. That's
yep, because everybody patents everything nowadays. I mean, even slogans are patented, and it's crazy. Right. And I've been threatened to be sued by Google before. Yes, you guys heard that. I ran a car magazine back in the day, and it was called Sports Car Magazine Online. The only thing different was the online. And well, Google didn't own the domain name. So I swooped in and bought it and started an online car magazine because I did photography. And also I got a cease and desist letter for copyright infringement from Google. And I called their lawyer up and I spoke to him on the phone, and I said, "What do you expect?" I said, "Are you going to pay me back?" I said, "I had to buy this." I said, "And I put money into this." "Oh, just change your domain name. You don't have to change the name of the magazine. Just change the domain name. We need to own that." And I'm like, technically, you should buy it from me, but okay, I don't want to be sued. So go ahead and keep it and just give me what it takes to buy a new one. And they did. They gave me like 26 bucks. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're good at that. You got to be careful on that stuff nowadays. I mean, I watched Disney take down a company in the cannabis industry. I mean,
Yeah, so a product I wanted to make, my friend kind of uses like the Lorax logo, and I wanted to use one of their things to give me an idea, so to a point like giving them credit, but I'm
Sure.
afraid I'll get gone after with like Dr. Seuss or whatever for like having a Lorax on my thing or something.
Right.
So to think about that. This sucks, but it's not ours, right?
Right. So you do a lot of other things too, that I want to dive into also on top of topicals. I go by your table, you always have all these treats and stuff that like I can't have, and I'm like, oh, like you're teasing it's like teasing a dog with a steak. I mean, like, and so explain some of the other products that you do and some of the stuff you cook because
So,
you're a person of many talents here. So
as much as I dabble mostly in the topicals, it's hard to get people to come to a table with just topicals on it. They don't really know what the hell's going on. Like one guy, I had my body butter, right, sitting like this, and like that could look like a jar of some fire ass dabs, He comes running up with his seahorse ready to fucking go. And my freaking jar, I'm like, wow, stop. Like, that's not what you think it is with body butter. Like, like try to hit my freaking body butter with
oh,
it.
that would open the lungs up. That
Everyone's like, oh, you should let him do it. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that.
right. Oh, I've been hit in the face. Me and my brothers used to have wars as kids with icy hot, and I've been hit in places we won't talk about. But I've been also hit in the nose to where it took my breath away to the point that I vomited because I couldn't breathe, and I can only imagine what smoking that stuff would be like to your lungs. I'm sure it'd be a hell of a menthol feeling.
I mean, everything here is edible, but I'm not sure you should be smoking it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
To the treats, I put some treats, some eye-catching treats on there, whatever, to help get people drawn to the table, because like it's a lot of people, they don't understand what topicals are and they don't know who I am. They don't see a bunch of pounds, or whatever, or jars on the table. They're less likely to stop by. So I work with RSO a lot. RSO is my body butter, my salve, and my treats. A lot of people really enjoy RSO and the effects that RSO have. And for anyone watching that doesn't know what RSO is Rick Simpson oil. It's a highly concentrated form of THC, and it is great for pain relief, mostly like in killing cancer is a really also known fact of it. So really great thing to work with, and being a part of the medical community, I really thought that was a really important part to have and work with in my products. So I make
Yeah.
THC gummies. So I make RSO gummies, and I actually took third place last summer at a Gems and Genetics event for my
Wow.
gummies.
That's impressive, because I still haven't entered anything in anything because I am so self-conscious that I don't feel it's good enough for anybody but myself. And I'm like, and everybody's like, oh, you grow some fire plants and you do this and that. And then nobody's ever tried it because I'm greedy. I don't share. And I don't smoke other people's stuff. I only do my own. So like it takes a long time for people to like build a trust with me. Like I finally smoked like Andy's and all their and like Chris's from Country Roots. I finally smoked their stuff because I trust them,
Right.
because of my autoimmune disease. I'm like, I but definitely, I'm hoping, and maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it'd be cool if you did something gluten free.
I will definitely give that a whack, because I know that is a lot of people have that issue and stuff like
Yep.
that. It's so hard
Yeah.
for me because like I'm
Oh,
a
it's
traditional good eater, like
right. It's not fair. I found that out this week. Like I went to Jersey Mike's and I got a Philly, but I got the giant. I didn't know anything. I was hungry. I was like, give me the biggest one. I don't know. And they're like, okay, and they make it up. And she's like, it's going to be an extra $3.25 for the bread. And I'm like,
Oh my
are
God.
you serious? Like, you go to Subway, they don't say, oh, you want wheat? That's going to be extra. You just pick your bread out. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I get all done. And the thing cost me $23.25 for a sub. And I'm like, that is the most expensive sub I've ever bought in my life.
Yeah,
Like,
gluten flour is crazy.
yeah, it's not, it's expensive. It sucks. But
So if I
definitely,
make it, you have to buy all of it if I don't sell it.
hey, that's fine. I'll buy it. Just don't overload me so I can't afford it. But
No,
I will buy
no.
it.
Yeah,
But
that's
that,
oh my gosh. I think that's like my biggest issue with selling is like overcharging or whatever because like I want to make it obtainable and affordable for
sure.
everyone. And I give a lot of my gummies away. Actually, any purchase that you make with me, you're getting a free gummy. Like I give so many gummies away. It's ridiculous.
Matter of fact, I got a story about your gummies that you don't know that you just reminded me of. So you gave me some gummies once at one of the Christmas parties, and I'm like, and my brother, he's like, are you gonna try them? I said, no, bro, I don't know what this is. I said, I don't know if I should trust this. He said, what are you gonna do with them? I said, I don't know. There's this homeless guy I know out here, and he'll eat anything, and he's like, hey man, you got anything to eat? And I'm like, I got these gummy bears, and he's like, I'll eat them. So all I know is he sat on the curb like all day, like after he ate them. So he must have felt good because
Heck yeah. And he
it,
probably ate the whole bag too. He was probably
yeah, because I was like, I don't know these people. I don't, and people giving me free stuff. I don't know if I should trust this. And yeah, it definitely was a funny story because I was trying to catch the guy's reaction. I'm like, this guy's gonna be high as a kite. Like, what?
yeah. Yeah, people
The,
are like, RSO, I'll eat the whole thing, and then they're like, that shit fucked me up. Like, I think people underestimate RSO because like everyone's rosin, or whatever, which is valid.
right.
But I don't know. I'd rather dab it than put it in my topicals.
Right. So we got to ask the number one question that everybody asks about topicals. And you wanted to make sure it was covered, and I want to make sure it's covered as well. A lot of people ask us, can you get high off topicals?
So, answer is ultimately no, and this is I'll explain why. So, I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget because I get high and shit.
Sure.
So, the body has a endocannabinoid system, and in the cannabinoid system, there's a CB1 and a CB2. So when you eat or smoke cannabis, it can't just get you high. It needs these receptors, CB1 and CB2, to push it through the body to make you have the effects of THC. So sorry, my camera is moving from me moving.
You're good. You're good.
So in short, the CB2 receptor is the one that hangs out closest to the surface of the skin, and on the surface of the skin is where your topicals are going. And so the CB2 receptor is only keeping the topical to that area, and that's why you're only getting the localized pain relief to where you apply it to. But I also kind of have a contradicting experience to this. So the first time I ever made lotion, I was making it with one of my buddies at his house. And I don't know if it was super hot and I just maybe put on so much of it because like, you're pouring it into jars and it's getting everywhere. You just like rub it on your arm or whatever, back of your neck. And I don't know if it was super fucking hot in this house, the dead of summer, and like maybe the pores being open and stuff like that. But I got super like space the fuck
Oh,
out, like my body and stuff. Like I was like, it's like
that's crazy.
but it's never happened again after that. Like never again. It was like, like the first time you get high, kind of like this is
Right.
like the first time I really like I've used topicals before, but I've never put like that much on my body, and it was like a sauna or whatever. And I don't know, just like the circumstances of the point of wearing it or whatnot. And I actually had a guy come into the grow store, Horizon Hydroponics. I'm there like almost every Saturday. If you're ever in GR, want to stop by, little plug. was like, yeah, I get high every time, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I mean, it might be more of a euphoric feeling than actual high.
Right.
Like, yeah, it was just like my body was like, I felt like I had a body high from mushrooms or something. I was just so freaking like, like relaxed.
That's
But it never happened again. So it's like, no, it doesn't, but I have this contradicting experience.
definitely,
So
but but that's definitely a good thing, especially, and I want to dive on this point as well, because a lot of people probably don't think of it like I do, and maybe they do, but you put it into perspective for a big part of our society that is uneducated, that I feel needs to be educated more. And that isn't the new people here. I know a lot of you guys out there are new growers or new consumers. No, I feel the senior citizens need to be educated more, because that propaganda and that
I
stuff
mean, they
for
grew
all
up
those
thinking it
years,
was
yeah,
bad.
it was
Ooh.
bad, and they think they're gonna get high off it, but a lot of them want to go organic, or they want to get rid of the opiates, or they want to get off the prescription drugs, but they're afraid to try
All the
that
chemicals and
topical.
everything that they put in everything over the counter as like these fake steroids and these other chemicals that mesh together that make this like chemical that'll make you lose your hair and stuff like that. It's just like ridiculous, the crap that they put
Right,
into all of our products. Like,
I agree. Definitely. And to know that you can't get high off it is what a lot of people love. But speaking of getting high, I'm about to light up myself here.
oh
I don't know
no.
what you guys are smoking on. I'm smoking on last year's harvest still, but I'm almost ready to harvest my current plants. They're really close, and I'm ready for something different. So Michigan Gyms and Genetics Spring Event, the 27th and 28th at Growers Outlet in Grand Rapids, Michigan. If you guys are local or Michigan natives, come out. There's going to be a complete cup over the 2 days. I'll be out there. I'm sure Leah will be out there, and we're going to be having a blast. And you guys will meet a lot of people from the community that are just about that community. And we'd love to see you guys out there. That's a shameless plug. They didn't pay for an advertising. They're just friends of mine, and I share the same passion as they do for the plant.
If you
So
didn't bring it up, I was going
yeah, definitely.
to. So sometimes
We
those smaller events, it's easier for me too to be able to connect with more people and especially other vendors. It's really hard at these bigger shows to get around to other booths and stuff like that. And I feel so bad because I would love to support other people. And but yeah, just sometimes it's so impossible. But I really like these smaller, intimate events because you can really connect with some of these vendors, and you can really connect with a lot of these people that are buying your product and stuff like that. And I think people really like some of the personableness of the events.
definitely. You always draw a crowd to your booth. I mean, and
People
and
like
and
coming and smogging at my table.
yeah, always. But you're always next to that. I don't know everybody yet, but the one guy next to you that sits next to Robbie and all them, I'm like, you guys are always next to each other. So you guys have had to have built a friendship, with a lot of you.
Yeah, I get close to like who if I chat up whoever I am vending next to, and a lot of times it's like the same people, especially at the grocery store.
Sure.
Or like if you are vending next to me, you're definitely going to get something from me, like lotion or like gummies or something. Definitely gummies. I'm always giving out gummies. Like
Definitely. That's awesome. So
I give
so
back so much. It's ridiculous.
let's dive into your gummies too. Are they all, because people might not know, are they all the same flavor when you make them? Do you make like a kind of like a multi-flavored all in one bag? Do you
So
have some?
I have a collab with a friend of mine that is with the grocery store and stuff like that. That he provides me with strain specific RSO. So then he like works with like monkey business stuff like that. He is really good friends with Thug Pug. So he has like a lot of his strains. So that monkey business was really great for pain, which is something I always am going for. And just made some strain specific stronger packs that are multi-pack, but my regular like 200 milligram packs I make with my RSO are just single flavor packs.
Okay, that's interesting.
Those 100
Definitely.
milligram pieces, like if you have like more than 100 milligram piece in a bag and it's all the same flavor, like what if you don't like that flavor or just like it's just too much of the same thing?
Right.
I feel like
Right.
a lot of these days like variety. So with those bigger pieces, I like to make the multi packs. I think they do better or whatever with the bigger size.
Definitely. That, a lot of people like them gummies, I got a lady here, she buys the sleep gummies and she's like, "These help me sleep. You should get some." And I'm like, if I take them, I probably won't get up. So like I probably shouldn't take them because I probably won't go to work tomorrow. But you know, I, she
It
swears by.
depends, it depends on what it's made with. So like I am only ever really ever hungover from distillate gummies. Those fuck me up. Rosin gummies not so bad. RSO I've never really had a problem with waking up in the morning. That's
Okay,
the least of the hangovers. But yeah, distillate gummies mess me up for like 2 days.
definitely. So let's dive into a little bit of your story here too. And I kind of want to hear about the first time you tried cannabis and where did you get it from?
So I was 14 the very first time I ever smoked weed. I at the time didn't know, but I was babysitting actually for like the local weed chick or whatever in the neighborhood. And one day I went to go down to get my babysitting money. And there was two of the older boys in the neighborhood waiting in their driveway in the car. And I really didn't pay them any mind, and knocked on the door and they rolled down the window. And I kind of can't remember the life of me what her name is. I can remember the babies, but I can't remember what the hell her name was. They're like, so and so's not home. I'm like, oh, okay, do you know what's gonna be back? Blah blah. And they're like, oh, any minute, you want to get in and wait? And I'm like, sure, And they're like, I'm smoking weed. Have you ever smoked weed? I was like, no. I kind of knew about it because my stepdad smoked.
Right.
And so I kind of knew like about it, but I never did it before. And I was like, sure, I'll take a couple of hits and da da da. And I don't know, like if these younger kids these days clam bake at all or like what or hotbox their cars, but like clam baking was really big like in the early like 2000s and shit
Oh
like
yeah.
that. It was still like pretty taboo and stuff, you'd go on the back roads or whatever and freaking hotbox your car out. So it was like a lot of that. But yeah, I smoked some weed with them and she came back and paid me and I went home and like I'm so glad like nobody was home or whatever. And I just remember like eating a sandwich and a bunch of chips or whatever. I remember getting the munchies more than I actually got like high my first time. I remember like going,
Definitely.
sitting on the couch and turning on MTV and just eating a bunch of freaking food.
Definitely. Definitely. Hetty Hunters said it himself, the best beard oil ever. Yes, I've been using the beard oil myself. I have been using that. And I use a beard straightener now too. Guys, it kind of, you look homeless after a while when it gets long.
They do kind of tend to like start going like
Oh, oh, I know. It goes
oh my
crazy.
god.
And I can't control it. It just goes everywhere. My barber even says it. He's like, "Dude, you've got the weirdest beard I've ever seen." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Tell me about it." It's like having curly hair on your face. Like it sucks. Yeah,
Oh
like
my god, I can imagine how they feel like in the summertime. It was like having like that hair on your face like all summer or whatever.
it don't bother me
It look great,
honestly.
it look great, but oh.
It
I kill
actually, a lot of people don't realize is your hair is a wicking system. So it'll wick the sweat and the moisture away from your body, but it can also hold it too. I mean, so you got to be cleansy now, obviously, but you know, I put so much crap in my beard. My beard essentially eats better than I do. I mean, I hate to put it that way. Like
It's like,
organic
my
everything,
hair is
100%.
completely dead.
Right. Yeah. Like it's crazy. Like, but no, you do make
Well,
some
oil's
great
a
beard
new
oil.
thing. I was gonna bring that up like last after we went through the things. That was gonna be the last thing, but we brought it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually THC not only is great for pain and inflammation, and it also has benefits for growing hair. So this is kind of not for like the hair part of it, but you know, you get cotton mouth when you're smoking and shit like that. You feel like dehydrated, blah blah. Well, THC has like the opposite effect for your skin. It's actually really moisture retaining and hydrating for your skin to do. So it helps with like would put it like on my ends. I wouldn't necessarily like have it on my scalp. So with doing hair oil on your scalp of any kind, you just have to be careful with the follicle. The follicle gets soft. You don't want to go like to bed with your hair wet or go be laying on the couch with your hair like up in this or pulled back really tight with hair oil on your scalp because that follicle opens, softens, and then it can create baldness essentially after a long period of time if you do
Wow.
it. So really, if you do it on your scalp, you only want to leave like the hair oil or whatever on your scalp for a couple hours, and then like wash it off. So essentially, I would just put it in my ends, and that's where you get most of your breakage from is on your ends, and this is why you're not getting growth is because your ends get dry, brittle, and they break. Your hair is growing up here. You can see your roots. You know, if you dye your hair, your gray hair is coming in. You know, and stuff like that, but you're not getting the length. That's why your hair is breaking too much. It's not moistened enough, and it's not able to grow. It's growing, but it's not getting the length.
That's
So I have to
impressive.
learn that and keeping this moisturized and in protective hair stuff. Like I wear a hair wrap at night, or I put my hair in a braid and stuff like that. If I'm going to be like having it back on the couch, or particular fabric and stuff pulls at hair. I like terry cloth and shit, and I'll put my hair in a braid or something like that if I'm wearing that.
You know, that's really good that you touch on that, because I'm sure, and I know for a fact, just some of the other places I've bought in oils like that, beard oils and stuff, they do not educate that you should wipe it off after a while and you shouldn't have it on there that long. They don't educate that, and you did. And a lot of people are under that misconception that you put it on, you put it on, you
Yeah,
keep putting it on. Oh, it's dried out, let me add some more to it, and then pretty soon you
or
got all
the longer
and
they use it to have it like on, the better it will be. But essentially, it's creating actually more damage the longer that you would have it.
right. Well, and I would suspect that it would eventually clog your pores to the point that it could
I was
lead
gonna
to acne.
I was going to touch base on the face oil.
Yep.
So I have been using it for like 6 months, and I really wanted to test like how long I could wear it without like really having an issue. And I went a few weeks where I wore it like day and night. Like I didn't even put like makeup on. I wore it day and night without like exfoliating and stuff like that. And I did end up like breaking out really bad on my nose. So you definitely want to, this is what I was typically doing before I do these crazy experiments on myself sometimes. I do 2 days of the face oil at night, forehead, especially underneath the eyes and skin, because THC has some anti-aging benefits in it. So I've seen reduction in some fine lines. I've seen some reduction in some sunspots that I have. And I've noticed like more buoyancy in my skin and stuff like that. That it goes away when getting older and stuff like that. And
Sure.
so yeah. So not only does THC have these benefits to help you feel great, it also can help you look great. And
Hey,
that's
you
really
can't
what
beat that.
drove that's what really drove me into like really like creating a whole line of everything that I really use on a daily basis. And not that I'm against plastic surgery or anything by that means, but I'm just trying to prolong getting the Botox and stuff like that.
Right. That
The
that is
longer I
definitely a growing industry, even right here where I live. I mean, they went from having like this 2-story medical spa building, to now they're building like a full-blown hospital, and it's like for plastic surgery and everything. And I'm like, that's cool for a lot of things, but I don't know. I'm still touchy on that subject. Like, it's fake, but if I was born with something that wasn't right, like my nose wasn't all here or something, and I needed plastic surgery, definitely for that. But like some of the things they're doing nowadays are just too much, and it's like, okay, you just got what? Yeah, I just got ass implants. You got ass implants? Okay, all right. Weren't you happy with the enough ass you got? I mean, why do you need more? But okay, each to your own. I mean, I talk about everything on here. These guys know
No,
that.
it's fine. That's why I said I'm not against plastic surgery. I had my tits done, and when I was a teenager, I was under the impression that I was gonna fucking get some tits, and I got
Right,
legs instead. Like I was like, what the fuck?
right, yeah.
All
I, I
my girl cousins and my aunties, and everyone had some big fucking titties, and like I don't have no fucking titties. Like what the fuck?
yeah, but you know what they say about that,
So I got older and I
If,
solved that problem myself.
if it's not in the front, it's in the back. So I'm sure you
So
probably
I
got
like
it
working
somewhere
out.
else.
I like doing like squats and stuff like that, so I don't mind like putting in the work and
Right.
building or whatever. But I couldn't build no tits, so
Hey, things happen, definitely, and that leads me to my question about, you spoke about how you went home and ate a sandwich and stuff. And we always talk about food on this show, so we have to dive into that question. These guys hate it, but they love it. What is your go-to munchie when you're high? Like everybody has something they love.
So I always have marshmallows, stuff for like s'mores in my house. Like if I have a gas range, so sometimes I'll just heat them up in my on my stovetop, or I put them in the microwave depending on how lazy I'm feeling. So like I always am snacking on some marshmallows. I fucking love them.
Definitely, definitely. So, is there anything new coming to your line this year or in the future that we can keep our eyes out for that
So
you're working on?
we can break down first, like we can break down what I have, and then I can talk about what
Sure,
I have, because
definitely, definitely.
that will be better for last. So we touched base on salve. So salve, I think like anyone who's ever really tried a topical has tried the salve. It's a mostly of a beeswax mixture with olive oil. So of course I infuse the olive oil. You add your essential oils for the smell and stuff like that, and other coordinating oils for like that would help with pain and things of the sorts. I put menthol in that because that is more for a localized pain relief, unlike my body butter, where I would have this magnesium oil in this instead, because magnesium oil doesn't really combine that well with beeswax, so it kind of leaves it looking watery on top.
Okay.
So I started doing a whipped body butter, and that blends in really well with that. And so that is great for all over the body. You don't have to worry about that menthol getting into those intimate areas that shouldn't have it, because
Right.
I've accidentally done that on my hands, forgot to wash my hands, went to the
Ooh,
bathroom or whatever, and was like, what is going on down there? Like,
I've done that with jalapenos. Yep.
like,
I did that with jalapenos once.
and
Jalapeno juice all over my hands, and I went to the bathroom, and let's just say jalapeno juice is not supposed to go where you come out of the bathroom at. So yeah, like
so
it wasn't good.
I wouldn't recommend getting it wet. If you do happen to get that menthol on your private parts, going into the shower makes it worse. So don't do that.
Oh wow. Yeah, I can imagine. I can
I
only
learned
I
all
can
this
only,
stuff the hard way.
yep, definitely. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for everybody joining in the chat. We're having some laughs here. Definitely. Um, hipsters. He said, same story. That's how I discovered it's a mucosa area and absorbs heat. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you'll find out the hard way. I've done it with icy hot and jalapenos. Yeah, I can tell you, icy hot don't go there neither. My brothers and me, we used to take handfuls of it and smack each other with it in all different places when people would be sleeping. Well, I've had it everywhere, and I can tell you that my grandparents had to hide it because they would get pissed because the shit was expensive, and they were
Right.
like, "Where is it going?" And then they'd find out because we'd be in the bathroom, and one night we all got it, and my one brother was in the bathroom sink, literally in the sink, splatting water up there, and I'm in the shower holding mine and crying, and my other brother's in the kitchen because he got it in his nose and he's trying to rinse his face
Oh
off,
my
and
gosh.
everybody's dying laughing, and yeah, I couldn't breathe. I ended up vomiting because I couldn't breathe. I had it under my nose.
No.
Oh, it was terrible. Like,
Oh
I do not
no.
recommend it. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's bad.
definitely.
It's really bad. Learn from our
De-
mistakes.
Definitely. So I got to ask my famous question that I ask everybody. But
Yeah.
before I ask it, I got to set one ground rule. And that ground rule is you cannot think about it too hard. I want
Okay.
the first thought that pops in your head. And that being said, if you could smoke with anybody dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh gosh, I'm so bad at like famous people and stuff like that because like I don't really like get into that celebrity culture and stuff like that. Did you say dead or alive?
Dead or alive. It can be anybody.
Hmm. I really enjoy like Eminem a lot. Like I've always
Okay.
like find myself still always listening to all of his music on a regular basis and stuff like that. I think that would be an awesome one.
I think
Very
that not only would that be
real,
awesome, I think that would be
real
realistic.
conversation.
Yeah. Because we are in Michigan, who's to say he don't show up one time at Michigan Gyms and Genetics? That
You
would
never
be the shit.
know.
I'm telling you right now, you want to see my mouth drop. I don't get starstruck because I've worked with a lot of celebrities over the years. But I'll tell you what, if he showed up, I would probably be the same way. That's how
Right.
I was when I first met the Mendo Dope Boys because they taught
Mhm.
me how to grow. They literally taught me how to grow. And like,
Awesome.
I met them and I'm just like, and then I'm standing in the crowd at Big Cloud singing all their song lyrics, and people are like, "Are you with them?" And I said, "No, I just wish I was."
Yeah, because a lot of people didn't really know who they were till they started coming to the events.
No, you're right. Yep,
Back in
Mendo
May,
Dope.
right?
Yep, definitely. Weed Nerd Nation for life. Definitely. But
Yeah.
is there anything that you want the audience to know about you before we let you go here? We're approaching 45 minutes, so we got about 15 minutes here to wrap up anything you want to talk about. So you're more than welcome. You have the floor. I have no more questions for you. You can talk about whatever you would like.
I'll finish the rundown. Like you guys do know most of my stuff, but I have the body oil or whatever that I like to put on a warmer and put that on there and blah blah blah. Coming out, I went to you asked if I had anything new coming out. So I've been tinkering with a lubricant
Oh, wow.
for to so this is my sales pitch. This is how I would talk about it anyways. If anybody asked what the THC lubricant was about, I would be like, so it's like an edible for your vagina. It helps soften the G spot to help him help you multiple times.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So just want to really like make sure that's not going to give any ladies any issues down there and stuff like that before that goes anywhere because I would hate to be the person that ruins somebody's night.
Right, right, right. Yeah, definitely. Well, nobody needs a yeast infection or anything like that either. So,
But
yeah.
have some antibiotics on hand when I can start testing. No, I just know that to like not really put essential oils. That's what really will start like fucking you up. But if you like stick to the more natural oils and stuff like that, we'll be fine. Like so,
I
but
mean, they put CBD in everything. I seen suppositories even, and it's like, what can you do it with THC?
I can do everything with THC. Like, they also say the lubricant's really good for menstrual cramps. Like, I've had people give me some
Wow,
feedback on my lotion helping with their eczema, psoriasis, burns, allergic reactions, a whole sorts of things. It's fading of scars, things like that. But the real reason why I really actually started getting into making topicals because I had bought some and they were okay, not like the greatest stuff ever. And I was like, I could probably do this better. The reason why I had been using topicals often was because I was working out a lot. Before COVID, I was actually on my way to being a part owner of a aerial studio. I was really big into the pole fitness with the circus hoop and the silks and stuff, and worked with a local circus group. Was flown out to California and put on a website because I did these awesome chair tricks on a folding chair, these awesome like gravity defying tricks on a folding chair and stuff, and they it really caught their attention, flew me out, put me up. I'm on a website. Still, you can find my tutorials and stuff.
wow,
Teaching for a long time, like and even before teaching, I was like a total tomboy. I don't even know if you're supposed to use that term anymore. Growing up, I was always hanging out with the neighborhood boys, jumping bikes, climbing trees. I've broken my arm, fingers, like most of my toes, dislocated things, broken my leg, cracked my knee. I've blown that out a few times, popped blood vessels. I
oh
ran my
yeah,
both my elbows so hard, crunched like all my muscles up. I was in the sling like this for a couple days while the
man.
locals relaxed. I fell 8 feet out of the air and broke my ankle. Like I've treated myself like a crash test dummy like my entire life. Okay,
Wow.
so now I'm really starting to feel like when the weather was really up and down recently, like old breaks were starting to like I could feel like this one my arm I broke when I was younger, running through a field and just like tripped over my fucking self and broke
Oh,
my fucking arm and you like half cast, or whatever they just put me in or something because it was just like a little hairline fracture, but like fucking still broken. Like now I can like feel it every now and then, like still just like my whole arm will be aching. But like and then I started like I work out a lot, so doing extreme booty workouts and things like that. Sore for like 4 days, can't sit on the toilet, things of the sorts. So I started using like salves to help out with that inflammation and to help with that recovery time. Even though there's like not a lot of research done with with working out and cannabis, I do believe that there is some benefits with aftercare with cannabis from especially like an extreme booty workout or whatever. And anybody who has ever like done an extreme booty workout knows like you can't fucking sit down right and shit. And so it really helps cut down on the inflammation in your quads and stuff. So I was cutting my rest days down in half, and stuff like that. And
wow.
I knew that I was doing that too because the my ex-husband and I had the same trainer for years, and we would do the same workouts, but just like with our body, with the weight that we could handle, but the same exact workouts, the same reps, same time, all that stuff. And my healing time would be days ahead of his. He'd still be complaining about his ass hurting or whatever. I'm like, what? I'm not sore anymore.
That's crazy. Yeah,
So
I
that's the
never
real
knew that.
reason. And then, aging and stuff, I was like, why not try to find oil combinations that work great for pain relief and all these like skin benefits too that can go along with it. And everything I have can help with an allergic reaction, a bug bite, swollen something or another, burn, a scrape, a scar, anything.
That's impressive. You know,
Lots of research, lots of notes taking, lots of
Yeah.
screenshots and trial and error. It took me a good year to get the body butter figured out. Like I just kept not so much wasting product. I use like the old product or the product I don't feel like is good enough to go out for people. Like we talked about earlier, like we are own worst critics. You know, I'm a perfectionist, and if I wouldn't want to buy it, it's not going out, and I just will use it myself.
Right.
Sometimes
Right.
it's come out too hard, or the lotions in there or the oils or whatever didn't like blend well with the beeswax or whatnot, because the beeswax is a natural preservative, so that's used a lot in like lotion and stuff like that, so then you're not having to use all those chemical preservatives and shit. So sometimes it looks like the beads like separate. Like I know that was melted down. Why does it look like it just formed like right back up again? Like so like that's I'm not gonna sell and stuff. I just keep it for myself.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know I used to make candles. You know, I was in college. I made soybean candles professionally for a living. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And that was fun. You know, I learned how to send them, how to wick them, how to pour them, how to dye them, how to do all that stuff, how to do fundraising, and it was a very unique experience. But I was also desperate for a paycheck, and I was like, well, what guy do you know that makes candles? But hey, this is what I do, and now I know how to do it. You know, I could do it, but I don't. But I could. Yeah,
Yeah, when COVID
definitely.
happened, I kind of pivoted from working out and stuff because like all the gyms and everything had gotten shut down. The studio got shut down. Luckily, I didn't sign any of those papers and everything like that. Like if you would have asked me like 5 years ago, like that, or even told me 5 years ago that I'd be sitting here talking to you about cannabis and not pole or a circus or something like that, I would have probably laughed at you and been like, oh, whatever, go away. As much as I love marijuana, I don't really see myself doing anything other than full fitness. But then COVID happened and you pivot, and I got into like making candles. I made a crafting business, and I was making candles like out of vintage teacups with like crystals that like, you know, super witchy and aesthetically pleasing and stuff like that. And like go with your zodiacs or some goddess that you liked or something of the sorts, like that. But you know, that really wasn't like I ended up keeping like a lot of them because I'm like, I love that so much, I can't sell it. So I
I
have
just
one in
can't.
the house.
I just came up with a cool idea for a collab sitting here, you know, and
Oh, I love collab.
I think you should do it. You should reach out to, you know, Celestial, uh,
Oh yeah. I forget.
Aurora. Uh,
Yeah.
I can't think of her name off the top of my head right now, but
She's beautiful. I've seen
she's
her
ma-
at events and stuff. I did her
yeah,
birthday, but
yeah,
yeah.
she's making stash boxes now that are beautifully
Oh.
her artwork and stuff, and I think you should put your products inside it and do some kind of gift box together, and
Yeah,
you
like
could
so
even get
I do have a gift box that I do offer all my things in, but it's just a paper box. It's not anything cool that you can like keep, so that would be like way better.
yeah. Like this is an actual stash box you keep. Like you could put your
Yeah.
stash in, guys, but she could fill it with like you could give it to your wife as a gift, and she could fill it up with like stuff for the bathing and stuff for moisturizing and stuff like that. You could with your products, or you could have. We could all maybe all pitch in, and I'll buy a box eventually here, and we could all fill it full of things from everybody in the community, and we could do a giveaway or something.
Oh,
You
that would
know,
be so cool. Like any
yeah,
like if, we're all at an event, you know, get the box and then get
yep,
something from the vendor. Yeah, that would be sweet.
yeah. It kind of gives everybody a chance to get a little bit of limelight, and one person's going to win that, and they're going to take that, and it's a way to market your business.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, is they're going to talk about it, you know, especially if the stuff is good, and everybody knows our stuff there is quality all the way around. So like it would be a way to give back to the community, but a way to also educate the community on a bunch of products all in one time. So it'd be
Yeah,
a
like
great
little vendor
win.
highlight. Mm.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. You know, and speaking of that, guys, I do have a giveaway going away on Instagram for 420. We partnered up with our friends Captain Redbeard Seeds and Sofim Genetics right out of Warren, Michigan area, or Detroit, Michigan area. Them guys are Michigan breeders, and we also partnered up with Grow Bags. So you guys got a chance to win one of these sick ass hats. I would take it off, but the bottom is all buds here. It's all branded Bill. It's made by Alpine Hemp, Foley hemp hat, all embroidered, beautiful. They don't like to stay clean. That's the only downfall. If you're a worker like me and you work with a lot of soil and you get your hands dirty and you grab your hat to adjust it, you're going to have fingerprints. I did today and I had to wash it and it sucked. But long story short, these hats are awesome. You're going to get an awesome shirt. I got shirts over here. You're going to get a whole thing of grow bags. We're going to give out some genetics. It's just going to be well-rounded. One lucky winner is going to win a package. I've got boxes right there underneath the table full of stuff from Seedsman. I'll probably throw some goodies in. I've got all kinds of goodies laying around all over. Who knows what we'll put in one of them boxes, and you're going to win it. A mystery box full of goodies that is going to have all kinds of stuff. Everybody's welcome to join. You got to be United States based only, because I'm not paying for international shipping. If you guys internationally want to join, the rule is you're going to have to pay the shipping. So if you want to join, go right ahead. If you're international, even though it says US only, if you'll pay the shipping, I will ship it to you. But I can't ship to Australia. It's not in my pocket.
Yeah, I made that mistake one time. I did a candle giveaway once, and someone in Canada won it. It was like $20.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, holy crap, I need to think this through a little better.
They really sock it to us, you know, and the price of stamps is going up. You know, I remember when stamps was like, I remember when it was like 28 cents, and then it went to 32. Now the United States stamp is going up to 73 cents a piece, and you're like, holy cow, like that's crazy. That's inflation. But
I feel like 10 cents.
you're right. But you know, that's the only reason is the shippers make the most money. You know, if they can make it affordable, we could get a lot of people could get their product in front of a lot of different people, and a lot of people would have more opportunity to try different things. But definitely what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to, next event I see her at, I'm going to pick up another bottle of her beard oil. And what we're going to do is we're going to give it away on the next show that we're able to, and highlight it so one of you guys can try it out. And that'll be, you know, on her behalf, and we'll take care of all the shipping and everything. It'll have to be US only, or if you're international, you pay the shipping, and we'll do a giveaway on that. Definitely, because I want you guys to try some of her products, and I feel, you know, we could get something out there. Maybe we can put some kind of box together for the show too. So we'll look forward to doing that. I'd like to get a lot more of the community to get together on that. Yeah, definitely. So with that being said, we appreciate you coming on the Organically Blunt show. You enjoy the rest of your evening. And as we say, if you can't stay lit, stay organically blunt. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you. As we close this chapter of Organically Blunt, immense gratitude to our exceptional partners who fuel our growth journey. Seedsman Genetics, the seasoned seed bank with over 2 decades of experience. Grow Bag, your trusted storage solution to protect terps. Gorilla Grow Tent, crafting spaces for cultivating dreams. Kind LEDs, illuminating your green haven. Country Roots Soil and Amendments, nurturing roots for success. Atlas Seeds, a source of pure genetic treasures. Green Wolf Genetics, creators of botanic magic. Smoke and Stork Genetics, where passion meets potency. Humboldt Seed Company, committed to cultivating excellence. Extreme Gardening, elevating your gardening game. Rain Science Grow Bags, redefining plants' homes. 420 Fast Buds, pioneers of fast and furious growth. Captain Redbeard Seeds, sailing the seas of genetic innovation. Aero Mixer, the rheumatic heartbeat of your grow. Petra Tools, your trusted garden companions. Sofim Genetics, sowing seeds of FEMS and Build-A-Soil, building the foundation of your organic oasis. Lost Close Plant Therapy, healing and enhancing plant vitality. Unlock these exclusive deals with coupon code ORGANICALLYBLUNT at checkout. Until our next episode, stay connected and keep growing, and as always, stay organically blunt.